Welcome to Real Estate Game Changers Radio, featuring real estate trendsetters and industry influencers, sharing tips and strategies to help home buyers and home sellers get the most out of their next real estate transaction. Now, here's your host, Suzanne Doyle-Ingram.
This is Suzanne Doyle-Ingram with Real Estate Game Changers Radio, and we have a fantastic show for you today. I'm so excited to introduce you to my guest. His name is Leigh Marcus, and he is the #1 agent at the #1 brokerage in Chicago, and he has a track record of consistently selling more than 100 homes a year. He is just an absolutely fantastic guy. I can't wait for you to meet him. He believes that the process of selling your home should be easy, and he has a fantastic marketing plan that he's going to discuss with us today. So welcome to the show, Leigh Marcus.
It's good to be here, Suzanne.
Thanks so much for coming on the show. I want to start off right away with, because we have so much to cover. Let's start off right away with, tell me about how long you've been in real estate and how you got started in real estate.
Absolutely. So I've been in the business 12 years now, and I got started. I was in sales prior to this, in technology sales, working for big companies like IBM, and obviously back then the real estate market was climbing up, and so figured take those sales skills and transition them into real estate.
Oh, that's fantastic. And, I find that realtors that have a sales background do very well in real estate because they understand the whole concept of it. And it's not, a hobby. It's a real job.
That's true. Yeah, we find that a lot. That's a good point, that a lot of, real estate is direct sales, and you are selling people's homes and you're helping them buy homes, and it is sales.
Mm-hmm. And I am so impressed with your track record, so I can't wait to talk more about that. But I want to talk a little bit about, do you have a particular type of client that you like working with?
So we meet clients at all different stages of their life, when somebody who's ready to sell right now and move forward right now, as well as others that they could be a few years out and they're just starting to think about it. So, whichever part of their life they are in, we're happy to talk and happy to meet. We tend to gravitate towards people who really like an aggressive approach, assertive, somebody who's going to really work hard for them and really provide a lot of communication and over-communicate.
Oh, good. And how do you communicate with your clients?
So we specifically schedule calls each week, making sure that people understand what we're doing to sell their home, how it's going. After each showing, so after we show a buyer through a home, we give feedback to the owner about how it went, and we also reach out to the buyer's agent to see what their buyers thought of it. So communicating after each showing and on a weekly basis as well.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm sure your clients really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
And do you depending on the client, sometimes I know how there's, working with millennials and stuff, they want to be constantly texting, and you got to learn all the abbreviations for everything. But, I guess you have to tailor your communication depending on the age of the client, too.
That's right, but a lot of people, texting is a big part of it for confirming showings and letting people know how it's going. So texting, emailing, calling, all of it is a lot these days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to really keep on top of the technology, that's for sure. I'm so impressed when I was looking at your marketing materials. I'm so impressed with the fact that you often help people who have had their home listed with someone else. And then I'm looking at some marketing materials right now. There's all these examples, but a particular one where, it was listed it was on the market for 154 days. You came along and you sold it within 17 days. And again, another one, it was on the market for 215 days. You come along, you sell it within 9 days. How do you do that?
That's
amazing.
So, yeah, there's a lot of different, real estate, there's a lot of different parts to selling a home. Sometimes it's just improving the way a home looks and it sells, and how it shows. There's really three main things that stop a home from selling. It's usually the condition or the price or the marketing. And so really we look at all three of those. How is the condition of the home? Can we improve it? How's the curb appeal? Can we, what needs to change so that buyers react really well to it? And obviously, how is the price compared to what other buyers are seeing out there? And then most importantly, how was it marketed by the previous agent? And could that be improved upon?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And I know you have an entire 12-step marketing plan we're going to talk about here. But do you also do staging?
We do, yeah. So we recommend staging at some level for almost every home, whether that's just, decluttering, depersonalizing. Those are probably the two main things, just removing personal photos and decluttering, but then also bringing in furniture if it's a vacant home. Definitely staging can apply in almost every situation and improve the price of a home.
Yeah, I think it's so important because I think when people are living in their home, they get used to how it looks. They don't really realize a potential buyer might not be able to see themselves in that space.
It's such a good point. Just even a coat of paint, a fresh coat of paint to today's colors that buyers really resonate with can be such a big change in a house.
Yeah, and you know what I think is so ironic about it is that they fall in love with the way the home looks with that furniture, but then they move in with their own furniture and it's not going to look the same.
You're exactly right. Yes, definitely true.
Yeah, it's kind of like a little mind trick. It's interesting. So let's talk about your 12 marketing tips. Okay, let me just grab my paper here because I took some notes here. All right, so I think this is really amazing that you're going to share this with our listeners today, and I really appreciate that because, some of them might be thinking about selling a home or listing their home. So, okay, tell me, if you don't mind, take me through your 12 steps for marketing.
Sure, happy to share. So there's really two main ways to sell a home. There's passive marketing and there's active marketing. So passive marketing is basically, waiting for buyers to come to you, just putting it on the MLS or on the websites or, even hosting open houses can be very passive. You're waiting for buyers. So what I do is really more active marketing. So we're going out every day and actively marketing the home to the top realtors in the area and all the potential buyers that are looking. So those are probably some of the key differences. And in terms of some of the 12 tips, we can start with just a couple, but spreading the word to the top realtors. I mean, I think 5% of the realtors sell 95% of the homes.
Wow.
And so really it's about getting the word out to the agents that have the most qualified buyers that are looking every day.
Right.
And so by positioning the home to them, you get a much better return.
And how do you do that?
So we do emails to them, calls, and we're speaking. The top realtors are speaking on a relatively frequent basis anyway. Yeah. So we're just they're sharing what they have coming on the market. Mm-hmm. We're sharing what we have coming on the market, and then also emailing and texting, here's what we have coming.
Good. And I wonder, are there realtors that you know of in Chicago who specifically are buyer's agents?
Yeah, exactly. So there are realtors in general tend to like to focus on either listings or buyers. Mm-hmm. And some of the bigger teams in the city have both buyers agents and listing agents. Right. And so we focus on who has the most buyers and who works with the most buyers and focus on them as well.
Mm-hmm. And you can say, hey, I've got this great house. It's 3 bedrooms, this and this. Who do you know that's looking? And get it sold quickly.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so what are some of your other 12 tips?
So watching all the data of online websites, like how many hits are we getting on your listing, right? Mm-hmm. How many buyers have viewed it online? How many have saved it? Mm-hmm. How many have favorited it? So you can learn a lot about how a listing is being received from the marketplace by watching the feedback and response. So that's a big one. Looking at the data that we have on the back end as to what's, how it's all performing on the websites.
Oh, yeah.
Zillow, Trulia, the MLS, yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people don't even know how to do that.
Exactly, yeah. Those are tools available to people, but as a team, so a lot of agents are single agents, so they're doing all of the paperwork, they're running around doing everything. Yeah. Whereas the way I've positioned myself is that I have a really strong team that handles a lot of those things, a lot of the paperwork, so that I'm free to actually do the things that make a difference in getting somebody's home sold.
Right. So now that I'm thinking about it, if you're selling over 100 homes a day, or not 100 homes a year, that's one every 3 days. And so really there's no way that you could effectively manage all that without a strong team.
Exactly. And that comes down to a lot of, obviously finding the right people, hiring the right people, training the right people. And, when you have the right people on board, it all goes really well. Mm-hmm.
And having systems in place, I'm sure that you have, so when you get a listing, this person does this and this person does that, and everybody knows what they're doing, so you don't need to be micromanaging everyone. That's right.
Real estate is a repeatable process, and once you find and figure out what works and throw out what doesn't work, a lot of this is systematized so that you're just doing the things that actually make a difference and make sense and get a home sold.
Yeah, and I'm sure that your training in sales prior to real estate has really helped in that regard as well.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So tell me, I know that you're, we can now call you an aggressive realtor. So how do you aggressively advertise a home in Chicago?
So obviously getting it to come up higher, there's certain things you can do to get homes to come up higher on the internet searches, to do like on Zillow, if you do a walkthrough video tour now of the home, and there's no audio, so you don't have to worry about what people are saying, but you do a walkthrough video tour, those come up higher on that. So just doing that. Also, search engine optimization is a big one, and advertising on the main websites to get it out there further.
Mm-hmm. And how about this, getting back to this walkthrough video tour, can you shoot that yourself, or do you have someone that goes in and does that?
Yeah, they're just supposed to be very low tech. They are just a walkthrough of the home with an iPhone. That's enough.
Oh, wow, that's fantastic. So you can do it right when you're there after it's been staged.
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Oh, great. And it's true. I know that Facebook is really favoring video, and so video seems to get way more views, not just because people like it more, but because the search engine actually shows it more often than a regular post.
Exactly. Yep. You got it.
Yeah. Okay, great. Now, how do you do any, now I know a lot of realtors prospect to get listings, but once you have a listing, do you kind of do prospecting for buyers?
Right, we do. So what we'll do is I have actually a partner who helps with this as well, calling the neighbors and the neighborhood to see who knows somebody that's looking to move into the area that this would be a good fit for. A lot of people have had people over to their house and they're like, hey, if this home ever comes available or, another one in the neighborhood, let me know. And so when we call them, then they get a chance to let us know, oh yeah, my friend said that they were, interested in moving to the neighborhood or would be interested. So yeah, actually reaching out and talking to the neighborhood.
Oh, that's a great idea. I heard of that. I've only heard one other realtor say that to me, and I was thinking about how smart that was. They used to have, a lot of homeowners say, well, I don't really want to have an open house because I don't want all my neighbors looking through my stuff. But the realtor said, well, I love I have open houses just for the neighbors, and I have all the neighbors over. We have wine and cheese, and we say, who do you know that wants to buy this house?
Exactly.
And I think that's brilliant.
There are definitely neighbors that want to be involved, that want to know, and you can enlist their help in finding a buyer.
Oh yeah, absolutely, because they all know 100 people. If you have 20 of them there, I mean, that's just brilliant.
That's a big, yes, exactly right. Thank you.
So, tell me about this is switching the topic for a minute and putting you a little bit on the spot, but what would you say are your guiding principles as a business person?
That's a really good point. It's probably the platinum rule, right? Do unto others as they would like to be done unto. So, treating people as they want to be treated. Everyone, everyone's not the same, and like understanding what people want, how to best service them. And really, I mean, I think it comes from a place of serving, right? How can I best serve our clients and give them the best possible experience and the best results? And not everyone is the same when it comes to that. And so understanding how people want to be treated.
Yeah, no, I understand. And I'm sure that you deal with a lot of emotion, especially since you work with a lot of people who've been frustrated with their experience in real estate, with their house being on the market for so long. So can you tell me any stories about people that you've worked with that you basically had put the cape on and flown in and saved the day?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we have people that have been trying to sell for, I might be the third agent sometimes, They've been on the market for a year and a half, and, letting them know that, no, it's okay. The cavalry has arrived, right? We are going to get this done, and we're going to get it done right. And being, the key with this is just being upfront and honest from the beginning. I think a lot of the frustration comes from broken expectations that, when people put their home on the market, they expect it to sell, and they expect it to sell soon. And so understanding that, that's great. So letting people know that, okay, if that's what's going to happen, here's what we're going to have to do. Here's the steps that it's going to take. And so just being transparent with people so that their expectations are correct.
Yeah. And can you give me an example of someone?
Oh, absolutely. So there's a home actually I sold probably about a month ago now, where I was the second agent, and they'd been on the market for about 6 months with another agent. And so we came in, and there were some glaring things in terms of just painting a different color, fixing a couple of items, and actually changing out the appliances. They were black appliances. We had them change them out to stainless steel appliances. So it was a combination of just paint, stainless steel appliances, and then positioning this to the other top agents in the neighborhood. And we got 2 offers within a week and a half, and they've been on the market 6 months before.
Oh, my gosh. And did you change the pricing?
Very little, actually, because it was just, they were getting a lot of activity. They were getting a lot of showings, okay?
And how much was it listed for?
We were at $500,000. So they were at $525 before with a lot of showings. Yeah. We went to $500 and did those few things, and that's when we got the multiple offers.
Wow. And then what did it sell for?
Over asking price, actually.
Oh, see, it's amazing.
Everybody, right? So,
And sometimes I think about
bids.
And I think about those potential buyers who missed out on it because they couldn't get the vision of just what it would look like with different paint and different appliances.
Yes, thank you.
It's incredible to me. And
real estate is very emotional, right? I mean, it's there's a lot of emotion involved, and you have to appeal to the buyer's emotions.
Yeah, but I also think that if you're that agent of those buyers, it's your job to say, okay, never mind the paint. You can paint that for $200. You know, it's like and then you've got to help them envision it too. But
exactly, I agree.
Those people must have been so happy.
Yes, so that's how we have lifelong clients. You know, that tell people and spread the word.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's fantastic. So, I want to talk a little bit about how, we talked a little bit before the interview, and I mean, I think that you're fantastic. So what I love is hearing about how you give back to your community. So can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. So we've, being real estate is a very local business, and so you have an opportunity to just be a part of the community and to really give back. And so what's important to us now, our 3 kids our oldest is in kindergarten. And so, being a part of the schools, there's such, schools are in such demand, a need of help, both financially and time.
Yeah, true.
And so we, number one, I dedicate and volunteer my time. I'll go into the school and actually read, there's an opportunity to be what they call the mystery reader. So I'll read to the kids. And then also you get to help out. You get to be the teacher's helper, and you get to, help kids that need help with certain things. And so you get to do that.
I can't believe you put aside the time to do that. You were so busy.
But it's so rewarding. No, it's so fulfilling.
And how often do you do that?
Once a month.
Oh, my goodness. That's amazing. Good for you. And the kids must just love it. I mean, is it a daughter or son that's in kindergarten?
Yeah, daughter, yeah.
Oh, so she just loves having her daddy come to the class.
Thank you. Yes, it's great.
It's probably mostly moms that volunteer, really.
Yeah. It's a combination of both, but we do, just because of our schedule, we get to do that. And so, and also financially, right? There's a lot of opportunity to sponsor events that the school is hosting and help them with that aspect. So.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's good. So when they have a fundraising event, you sponsor it in terms of signage and marketing and stuff like that?
Yes, and it all comes back to, I think, real estate is driven, obviously, location, but in terms of location, schools and quality schools play a big part of that.
Yeah.
And so the better we can make the schools, the better position they are in, then it drives up property values.
Oh, that's a good
point.
So
we have every interest in making sure the schools are well supported.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I never thought about that. Yeah, I mean, people are going to they're going to crave moving into that neighborhood so their kids can go to that school.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. And in Chicago, is it the same as it is here, where you basically have to be living in that neighborhood to go to that school? Otherwise, you have to fill out, application forms and all that kind of stuff. Right.
Yeah. We do have a lottery system where you can get in, but it's mostly neighborhood schools.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. So, tell me, what makes you a real estate game changer?
I think it's actually, being upfront and honest with people from the beginning. Just telling it like it is, telling the truth from the beginning. What is it really going to take? What do I need to know as a client? And just being upfront with people from the beginning, just cutting right to it,
Mm-hmm. And I can tell you absolutely love your career.
I do. I feel like we hit the lottery, the jackpot by getting a real estate license, for sure.
Oh, that's great. And so it's been 12 years, and did you have a mentor when you started, or how did that work?
I did. So early on, I had heard of a real estate coach that had been in the business almost 40 years that had taught agents from around the country how to sell real estate, how what it takes to sell a home. And so, I signed up with them very, very early. So I have a lot of accountability, and I have a mentor that I talk to on a weekly basis.
Oh, that's fantastic. And how big is your team?
So I have, actually, that's a good question. I have 4 full-time assistants that help with all the paperwork, listing management, and closing. And then I have, I also have 2 full-time buyer specialists. So a lot of what we do is working to find buyers for our homes, and so we have full-time buyer specialists.
Oh, I see. Oh, interesting. Okay, that's great. So you get listings, and then you look to find the buyers. Oh,
yes, exactly right.
And, good for you.
And our clients, so I have 2 very high-quality buyer specialists as well, so 6 people.
Are any of them licensed?
Yes, everybody, actually.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay.
Really these are all, the part of it is, I mean, some of the people on my team have closed over 500 to 750 transactions. They are very, very experienced and skilled. And so, just adding the value there to clients.
Oh, my goodness. That is fantastic. And just, I love the idea of just taking care of them and easing their worries and almost being like a psychologist or a counselor, helping them say, I'm going to take care of you. It's going to be okay.
That's exactly right. Yes, that's a big part of what we do, right? So you're a counselor, you're not only a salesperson, but there's a lot of other hats.
And I bet you get to know them really well too.
Yeah, we're meeting clients at the most interesting, the most big transitions in their life, right? True. Having kids, moving, job change. So you really get to, you're in intimate details of people's lives.
Yeah. And even when they have a little breakdown, you're there for them and helping them. I mean, I think that a lot of times there's also sad things that are happening that are making them move, right? With death or divorce or financial issues. So you get the good and the bad, right?
That's exactly right. There's a lot of different aspects of why people are moving, and like you said, not all of them are good. Yeah. And so being there for them through that transition, and most of all, trying to remove the stress. Right? Yeah. There's a lot of things that's going on in life. Selling their home should not be the stressful part of it.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. So you do what you can to just give them the information they need, and then take care of everything else.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, and I think that's one of the key things that I like about what I know about you, and what I think makes you a game changer is, really, first of all, the incredible success that you've had, and at quite a young age. You have such young kids. I don't think you started having kids at 50, so I'm assuming you're fairly young.
Yes,
young family, awesome. You've got this team with tons and tons of experience, and your track record is just so amazing. If anybody wants to check it out, it's on your website. But it's just incredible to me how, with the little charts and graphs and everything that your assistant showed me, with the number of days on the market with somebody else, and then you come along and just sell it, boom, boom, boom. That's definitely your specialty, wouldn't you say?
I would say so. Yeah. So knowing what it's going to take to get it sold in the shorter period of time, right, for the highest dollar value. I mean, homes necessarily don't have a shelf life, and so the quicker you can get an offer and get it sold, it's usually more money for the client.
Absolutely. And it astounds me. I mean, every person who says, Jim, let's sell our home. I mean, they all want the most amount of money for their home, and they all want to do it as quickly as possible. And yet there's still agents out there that do that, passive marketing you were talking about. They just put a sign up, and they don't do anything to sell the home. It must be so frustrating for you to see that happening.
But, at the same time, if they follow the advice of things that they can change, these are not big changes a lot of times to the home, to just get it ready for sale, get it presentable. I mean, it's like bringing a car back after a lease, right? Mm-hmm. You detail it right before. Well, that's kind of what you make the house look like. And it's not a lot of money out front, and it's not a lot of time. And with those types of changes plus the aggressive marketing, you get some good results.
Oh, that's a really good point. And I guess there are people who don't do what you tell them to do.
Sure, absolutely. But it's our job to let them know the benefits. And I was talking with an agent actually the other day who said that there was a home that was not selling, and she took it off the market, staged it, so just brought in the furniture, put it back on the market, and got 2 offers right away and sold above the asking price. Just sometimes putting in furniture in a vacant home will change the game.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's because again, people can't envision what it would look like. I'm like that. If my husband says to me, "I think we should renovate the bathroom," and I want to do this, and I can't picture it. I don't know what he's talking about. So a lot of people are visual like that. They need to see that.
They need to see that, yeah.
And what if you have a client who says, "I don't want to spend the money"? They say they're an old curmudgeon and they're grumpy, and they say, "I don't want to spend any money on that crazy staging stuff." Like, what do you do about that?
Yeah, so a lot of times, understanding up front what it's going to take, and the staging is not, there's very cost-effective forms of staging. We work with a lot of stagers that run the gamut of luxury furniture to just fine furniture. And so there's so many different options that do not break the bank that are very, very affordable.
Yeah, and I think that if you can explain to people, look, if you spend $3,000 on staging, your house is going to sell faster and maybe for, $10,000 more, you're going to get your money back.
Yes. And by the way, and Suzanne, this is a key point, that not everybody, it's not always about the money. Some people, they don't want any of the hassle. They don't want, and we take care of a lot of that. We can coordinate the show, the quotes for the staging and coordinate the moving in and out. And so there's a lot we can take off people's plate because I am a team. I have all of that help for people. So we have that.
Oh, yeah, that's fantastic. So it's again, relieving their stress. So, listen, we told you what you need to do. Now we're just going to take care of it for you, so just relax.
Exactly.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, I love that. Well, listen, we're running out of time, but I just want to say this has been such a wonderful interview today. Thank you for your time and for sharing with us some of your trade secrets about, how you get homes sold fast and for top dollar. And could you tell now for our listeners who are listening, how can people get a hold of you?
Sure, absolutely. And by the way, thank you for reaching out and the opportunity to talk. So I'm in Chicago, and my website is LeighMarcusChicago.com or MarcusRealtyTeam.com, and I'm happy to help.
Okay, great. Thank you. Well, I'll put that under the show notes as well, so people can contact you if they'd like to. And I want to wish you all the best, and thank you again so much for your time.
Happy to be here.
This has been another episode of Real Estate Game Changers Radio with your host, Suzanne Doyle-Ingram. To hear all episodes featuring our hand-picked real estate game changers, visit us online at www.realestategamechangersradio.com.